Hi, I'm Snez, personal trainer, healthy lifestyle coach, and your guide to feeling your best. This podcast is a segment from my weekly radio show, Wellbeing Wednesdays, broadcast live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. It's all about sharing real, practical tips to help you move more, eat better, and live healthier without the overwhelm. Let's dive in, shall we? But coming up next, we're going to be looking at some of the things that we are going to leave behind in 2025. Now, there's a lot that happens in a year. We definitely search to make improvements to our health, to our wellness, and we do this in a variety of ways. But there's certain things that we tend to think about that we think, you know what, that probably does need to be left in 2025. And that's what I love about this time of year. There is a really great opportunity to be able to go, okay, yeah, definitely that is 2026. And it is a great time to be a little bit more reflective as we come to the end of 2025. So we're going to be talking about today, not necessarily our goals for 2026, but what we're going to be leaving behind. Because sometimes the biggest shift happens in our health doesn't come from adding something new or a habit or learning something new, but it comes from letting go of the things that quietly drain us, that mislead us, that keep us stuck, or that just aren't serving us, don't resonate with us. Even if it could be a relatively positive change, if that's something that doesn't fit your values or your lifestyle, the way that you want to live your life, it's never quite going to work out. So today we're going to gently clear some space and leave some things behind. And I have 7 things that I would love for you to leave behind, and also going to give you reasons as to why. So the first one, and I think we probably should have left this behind in maybe 2010, but here we are, and that is quick fixes. We're leaving behind the idea that health comes from a shortcut, a cleanse, a reset, a magic solution, potion, lotion, or diet. Quick fixes don't teach your body anything. We know now that anything that's aggressive, restrictive, actually creates more stress in the body and actually becomes quite detrimental when we are trying to improve the health of our body, because it becomes more of a stress response, which the body can then hold on to body fat as a mechanism of protection. It slows down our metabolism. There's a lot of things that are quite negative that come from quick fixes, and they almost always leave us worse off, either physically and definitely mentally. Real health is built slowly through habits that you can repeat even when life is busy. They're your go-tos. They feel natural, and they're just part of your general and natural organic routines on a day-to-day basis. If something that you come across promises fast results with minimal effort, that's your red flag to pay attention and to go, you know what, 2026, those things are not going to enter into my world. As convincing as some of the marketing can be around some of these solutions or some of these diets and products or whatever it is that's being sold to you. So that's the first one. We are getting rid of quick fixes. We are, number 2, going to let go of the scale and defining how we feel, letting the scale define how we feel about ourselves. So when I'm talking about the scale, is jumping on the scale and weighing ourselves and using one number to determine how we feel about ourselves or to measure our progress. So leaving behind frequent weighing and obsessing over a single number definitely needs to be left in 2025. It cannot continue to infect our future years and our future progress as we are trying to get fitter and healthier in the coming years. And the reason being is because we know so much more now. We know that that number doesn't tell you how strong you are. It doesn't tell you how much muscle mass you're carrying. It doesn't tell you how much improvement you've made to reducing your visceral fat. It doesn't give you any information about your bone health. There is too many factors that lead to our wellness through our body composition, how resilient our bones are, that is more important than a single number. And that single number is misinformation a lot of the times as well, especially if you start to lift weights or you start doing any form of strengthening exercises that's going to improve your muscle strength and your muscle mass. As you get stronger, the scales can be quite misleading because you can gain weight, and that can be quite discouraging. So your body is not represented by one number, and those fluctuations that occur on a day-to-day basis that can be linked to so many different reasons other than just what you've consumed or how much body fat you've gained, it's not a true indicator. And it can be quite deflating to get a number, especially when you feel like you're doing well. And the reality is you may be doing well, but you get this number and then you feel deflated. And then usually what happens as a result of that, people tend to regress back into some poor habits, or they give up, or they feel deflated or lacking in confidence. And this is something that I would love to park all of that power that we give that one number on the scales in 2025, or even in further years in the past, because progress isn't reflected, and our health, our wellness, our strength, and our metabolic health, our longevity is not reflected by one number in kilograms. So let's 100% leave that in 2025. Number 3, this is another one that I hear a lot of when I meet new people that are starting on their strength journey, and that is that their only form of exercise is walking. So I would love for walking to continue in 2026. Walking is absolutely wonderful. It's calming. It's accessible. It's great for mental health. It's great for your cardiovascular health. And the thing is, though, walking alone is just not enough. It's not enough to support your muscle mass, your bone density, your metabolism, or your long-term health through strength. So especially as we age. So we're leaving behind that idea that gentle movement alone is enough and gentle walking is enough for us. That's definitely something that 2025 has just exploded with strength benefits related messages. And I think we know enough now. We know better. And this is one thing that we definitely need to park, is that the only form of exercise that we need to do is walking. We want to include walking. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is alone, it's just not enough. And we need to start to add in some strength training and some varied movements that are loading the body, that are essential if we want to stay strong, independent, and confident in our years ahead. That's number 3. Number 4 is chronic sleep deprivation. Now, this is one that I've been trying to park in quite a few years in the past. It still keeps creeping up, although I must say my commitment to my sleep this year has definitely been a lot better. But I would love to leave behind, and we should all be leaving behind, the belief that sleep is optional, it's negotiable, or we'll sleep when we're dead, or it's something that we're going to catch up on later. That mindset definitely needs to go. And again, we have heard a lot of information about the impact and the benefits of sleep, but also the impact when we are lacking sleep and sleep deprivation, because sleep affects our hormones, our hunger, our cravings, our mood, our memory, our recovery, our immune function, and also our cognitive health as we get older. It's something that we cannot skip out on, and getting an extra little bit of sleep, especially if you are getting under 8 hours of sleep, and in particular, if you are getting under 6 hours of sleep, the way that you are experiencing in your world, the decisions that you're making, not only around food and exercise and health and wellness, but also just in your day-to-day lives with relationships and work, they potentially can be very different with more rest. And I think that we really need to look at the impact that sleep is having on our emotional and our mental health as well. Now, if you're training, and especially if you're exercising, if you are working hard, if you're caring for others, whether that be young children, teenagers, elderly parents, whatever it is, or navigating a stage in life where there's hormonal changes, sleep is not a luxury. It is absolutely foundational, and it's not something that we can skip. So less sleep does not make you any better. It doesn't allow you to do more in your life. It just makes everything harder. And we need to remember that. Speaking to myself as well, definitely going to park that one in 2025 and not let it progress any further. Number 5 is skipping connection because we're too busy. We're leaving behind that habit of, in 2025 for sure, of constantly choosing work over social connections, whether that be with the people that we have at home or whether that be with family or friends or work colleagues. That's definitely one thing that I'll be aiming to park in 2025 because life can get super busy for me and I can tend to be rushing through my day, and I just feel that even with myself, I just want to be able to enjoy all of those working moments and family moments and enjoy every day with a lot more presence and just giving myself the time to be with people, enjoying other people's company. So that's definitely something that I'm looking at parking in 2025, because catching up with friends, sharing a meal, laughing, being present, these don't need any extra resources in our lives. They're just available to us all the time. We don't need to be continually more productive. There needs to be more moments that remind us why we're working so hard in the first place, what we're actually trying to achieve. So skipping connections because we're too busy, we're parking that in 2025. Number 6, consuming content that makes us feel bad about ourselves. This one definitely needs to go. And with the changes to the under 16s being bumped out of social media, I think this is a great time to jump on that bandwagon with ourselves as well. And even if we're not completely getting rid of social media, it serves us all in different ways. I think it definitely needs to be out there. It's a form of the way that I communicate with my listeners as well. But I think what we can leave behind is social media accounts that are creating comparison, that making us feel pressured, where there's more self-criticism, especially what really irritates me is the endless parade of perfect bodies or outfits and lifestyles. Like, I want to see the real stuff. I want to see what people are really doing, or I want to learn from something. I want to be able to resonate with people, not always continually aiming to strive to be something that I'm not, or usually something that's not possible. So it's just asking yourself, is this inspiring me? Or is this shrinking me? And start to do a big clean out. I've already started to do that with email, and that wasn't necessarily to surround myself with content that makes me feel better, but it was more to reduce my workload. So I'm going into my email accounts at the moment and just unsubscribing from a whole bunch of stuff that's not relevant to me and that I definitely don't want to take into the new year. And I probably will look at doing the same and starting to invite content and messages that are going to educate me, support me, inspire me for the type of year that I'm wanting to have for 2026. And you can have a look at that and just look at, well, what are the sorts of things that I want to do in 2026? Do I want to learn more about healthy cooking? Do I want to learn more about planting? Do I want to learn more about travel? And then just start to link into some of that content that's going to support your vision and where you're going for yourself, and let it set the future pathway rather than continuously feeling like we're battling against something that we're not. So that's something, is just consuming content that makes us feel bad, definitely needs to park itself in and live and not go beyond 2025. And better yet, step away altogether and just go outside, look at the sky, look at the trees, walk amongst the trees. Nature will offer us more wisdom, calm and perspective than I think any algorithm ever is going to do for us. And number 7, this is probably one of my favorites, and we're going to park in 2025 ignoring our body's feedback. So we're going to leave behind that habit of overriding when we need to go to the toilet, overriding when we're tired and we just need a rest, when we need to stop, overriding that feeling when we're sleepy and we just want to go to bed, overriding that feeling of fatigue, stress, pain, overriding that feeling of intuition when something just doesn't feel right. You're like, no, just keep going with it. We want to override some of those things. We want to stop overriding some of those feelings and just leave that ignoring of ourselves in 2025, because our bodies, our worlds are constantly in communication with us. They're whispering, they're giving us the messages. And when it comes to our wellness, our body is continually whispering. I know my hip at the moment is continually is whispering, and I know that as soon as I head into the next track, I will be hopping up and stretching out. I've already been sitting here for too long, so I definitely need a stretch. But things like that. I'm also at the moment feeling like I need a drink of water. So reflect inwards. What are you needing right now? What are you feeling? Let's start to respond to our bodies, not push through And health isn't about control and resistance. It's about being in partnership with our body and listening to ourselves. So what are we choosing instead as we move forward in 2026? As I said, just reflect on what you would like to achieve, the things that you would like to experience, and who you want to become in 2026, and start to take some of those steps that are going to move you forward. Thanks for joining me on this segment from Wellbeing Wednesdays, as heard live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might find it helpful, and subscribe so you never miss a show. Want to catch the live broadcast? Well, you can tune in Wednesdays from 12 till 2 p.m. on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, or find my info on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. Take care, stay healthy, and remember, it's the little choices every day that create big changes. Talk soon.